Bum 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 bum. Woohoo! Bum 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 bum. Woohoo! Boom boom boom. Celebrate
I don't know
good
what the fuck we're
times
doing.
come. Well, I can't hear what you're doing. Discord's not picking it up. I don't know. Brandon, you got an idea what we should do? Whoa! That?
What about
Monkeys.
Monkeys? Monkeys are pretty cool. I don't know. This is the perplexing. We're so perplexed how to start the 50th episode of Stacked. How about we leave it to the commenters how we should have started the 50th episode of Stacked? Guys,
No.
Leave your suggestions.
Celebrate
Good times, come on. Bum, 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 bum.
ba 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 ba
There's a
ba
party
ba
going
ba.
on in here. Celebrate. Bring the good times and the bad times too. Come on, everybody, do the party
party with you?
Come on,
Celebration.
Bum,
Bum, bum, bum, bum.
Woohoo! That's right, everyone. We're celebrating, we're partying down because we've reached quite a milestone. 50 episodes of Stacked. 50. That's 21 times 2 plus 8. That's a lot of numbers, all right? So we're back at it. We got a fun, unique episode for episode 50. Of course, joining me, Ethan, are my boys, Brandon, Chris. Fellas, happy 50th. Happy 50th episode. Can't believe we've made it this far without fucking killing each other. It's been a wild ride. How we feeling? 50 episodes in.
We've all aged.
Yeah. I feel like we have.
We started this in the middle. Well, actually, no, the beginning basically of the pandemic, and we're not done yet, but we're on the way out. I'd like to think, hopefully,
Yeah.
Of the pandemic or of our podcast?
of the pandemic.
Yeah, coming to an end soon. Sorry, guys.
Just
this is going to
making
be
sure.
the last episode. No. Yeah, I feel like we're in the...
I'm just happy that we're halfway to Ethan's butt episode.
Please stop don't remind me. All right.
You got to give us a story for 50 though. Like give us a one butt cheek story.
One butt cheek story?
Tell us the story, but only mention one side of your ass.
What? No. That's just the same
He
story.
promised.
No. I
You
have promised
promised.
for 100.
And then on 100 you can complete the full moon. See?
No.
What if that got us all of our views?
The
If
butt
that was how
story.
we got it, yeah.
Whatever episode 100 will be, it's going to be the episode title, and then it's going to have featuring the great butt story. Just like how the sports episode had the great Brandon bathroom break of 2020, where he just got up and left in the middle of the conversation. Anyways, yeah, okay, so we're back.
I had to go.
I don't fucking care. We're recording a podcast now. We're here. We're back. We're Time Movies, and we're doing a very special topic. Like I said earlier, we are talking about the best movie-going experiences. So this is going to be an interesting stack because we're piecing together a triple feature where I guess our intention for this feature is to watch it in a movie theater. So we're going to be sharing sort of like our experiences with some of the best movie-going experiences we ever had, and sort of arguing about why that experience in that film like makes it so fundamental to watch that film in the theater, because theaters are coming back. Also, I feel like movie theaters are like officially back. You know, it was like in these past 2 weeks, it was like Quiet Place and Conjuring. When we went to those movies, like I haven't seen theaters that packed in a while. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What were your guys' thought process of constructing your best movie-going experiences?
Well, for me, like when I started thinking about what movies to recommend for this, it was very much like a process where I felt like I wanted to highlight experiences, memories, and just things that like moments in the theater that have been very, very fun and have been like just formative, whether that be like for formative reasons or literally just because I had a really great time. Because it's episode 50, I didn't want to like take this stack like crazy, crazy seriously. I wanted to kind of just have fun, share some stories about times we've gone to the movies together and why we've had such a good time. So yeah, just a fun, like I just wanted to pick out some movies that I thought were fun and had a good time at the movie theater. Because honestly, that's the thing. Like movie theaters are a very communal thing. And yeah, that's how I went about it. How about you, Brandon?
I chose Sally Gardner at the No,
What theater did you see that in?
No,
The megas and Praxiscope.
I guess you could count.
Praxiscope. I just got in the middle of one of those amusement park rides that like you sit on the outside and on the it spins
Are
you
you
around.
counting MKS
Yeah,
Room 111 as a movie theater? Because if so, that's where we saw it.
No, I'm not. So it's just gonna be like basically 2010s movies, right? Because that's where 2010s, 2000s. That's kind of where we grew up.
Mm-hmm.
There may be like a throwback in there, but who knows? Yeah, but I think it's telling our own personal experiences and making not an assumption, like a educated assertion as to why I choose these films is like based on like my history, my own film going history. Yeah. And I think I want to share that with the people involved.
Well, I was just wondering when you said that about Sally Gardner, like, so you know how like that movie is like only like, is it 6 seconds long or some shit like that?
Yeah.
Like it's really short. Yeah, it's only like 6 seconds long. So I wonder, if you were to go on YouTube and put that thing on loop for like a minute, would you have to log it like 8 times on Letterboxd?
No.
Why not?
I don't. Because here's the thing.
You saw it like 8 times if you know.
That's true.
Listen, they have loops of that shit. Though.
So, but what's the difference between that and like watching Parasite like twice?
Back to back.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's true.
I'm just tugging on your tail, but like that's just like I just think that's a funny like way to measure like watching movies is like
that is the cutest way to say that.
Tugging your tail.
I'm just tugging on your tail.
I'm just sucking your dick.
How quaint! That's adorable. That's really adorable.
No, like, cause what's the saying normally?
I don't know.
Jacking you off.
Dick.
No.
Wow, we both went for that same joke.
No.
I think it's like what is
your leg.
Pulling your leg.
Pulling your leg. Yeah, I'm tugging your tail.
eating my ass.
Eating my ass. Quit eating my ass, dude. I have another Letterboxd related question. Chris, I want to ask you. Mm-hmm. If you've only watched 15 minutes of a movie, can you log it?
Okay. No.
Because that's currently what Brandon's done with the movie Silence. And if you've only watched 15 and
wait,
plan on
the
watching
Scorsese
the rest,
movie?
Yeah.
Isn't that movie like 4 hours long or some shit?
Yeah, and he plans on watching the rest at like 2 a.m.
I did that
tonight.
with Raya.
Okay, well, we also need to remember that Brandon logs his movies like differently than us in the sense of like we usually log it right after we see it. Brandon logs it when he starts it.
Yeah, Brandon logs it when he thinks he's gonna watch it.
That's true.
Because you started it, I came home, we went to the grocery store, we're recording this, then we're gonna do other things, then we're gonna watch Loki, and then you're gonna watch the movie, and that's gonna be like 2 a.m. It's not even gonna be today.
He did start it though.
This is an episode 50 intervention about your letterbox habits, by the way. Public intervention.
I did not ask for this.
I don't know if he's Brandon. I don't think you've done this lately, but like you know how like I think during the summer or something like you would take like 3 months to write a review.
Yeah.
And it's just like I don't know what you think of this movie yet. So it's like
yeah, but I rated it, so you should.
Yeah, but like, I want to know. I want to know the specifics. I don't give a shit what your rating is. I just want to know. Like,
there's a. Oh, well, you could just ask me. You could just say,
or you can just fucking write a review like a real human being.
Like a real human being.
Brandon, I also have another question. Why do you put short films? Just kidding. We just go through all of it. We just start nitpicking his letterbox. All right. Well,
this is what the people wanted.
Yeah.
This is what they wanted.
For episode 50, our fun
episode 50
games. All right. Let's get into the show with our movie-going experiences. But before we do that, of course, let's go over the rules of the show. I'll run it down lickety-split right now. Once a week, we set a topic or theme and go our separate ways to construct our own 3-film stack. Then after a week, we come back here on the podcast and share our own stacks one film at a time. Then at the end of the show, we will mix and match our 9 films to make the ultimate decision on what quintessential 3-film stack we are checking out this hypothetical video store. Almost did it. 50 episodes, and I'm still messing up. Jeez.
He messed up, but
guess who's not going to mess up? Brandon, don't mess up, because you're first with your first movie-going experience.
Okay. All right. We already did part 2 of this movie, and it's the final stack. You gotta go with Avengers: Infinity War if you're not gonna go with Endgame.
Double stack.
I went with another one.
No.
Oh, not triple stack. I was gonna think like this one was gonna be the triple stack, but yeah, double stack, baby. Let's.
Well, Chris and I actually saw. I don't think I saw this with Ethan. This is
it
like
was just you
I
and
think
me,
this.
Brandon.
Yeah, we went to a Cinemark XD movie theater, and we were like 3rd or 4th row on this, and it wasn't even like a really good seat, Chris. If I remember, it was like the side of the theater in the bottom 3 or 4 rows.
Yeah, it
or
wasn't
something
great
like that.
seats, but still great.
That didn't hamper.
I didn't give a shit,
hamper the
yeah.
experience. Yeah, because I might have qualms with the movie now in terms of like what it is storytelling wise. It's essentially like all payoff and setup. It's nothing narratively strong. But in terms of a movie going experience, there is nothing like seeing this in like a packed theater, because this happened to me with the first Avengers as well. Like that was like my first like big movie where everybody like stood up and clapped and did all that cool shit. But in Avengers: Infinity War, it was like, holy shit, like everybody knows what's happening right now. Everybody knows that you're about to get this giant crossover, even bigger than the first Avengers, even bigger than the second Avengers. And not only that, like there's so much hype and stuff going into it, like with like the MacGuffins of the story and all of the things that they had set up in previous Marvel films. But I think everybody's cheering and stuff, and the fan servicey moments all plays into that gut punch of an ending that really plays well in an audience, because I think we miss it when we're talking about cinema sometimes. Silence is an important thing, and silence in an audience is as much of a good thing for a reaction as much as like cheering and standing up and doing all that in a theater. Because like at the end of that movie, you could hear a pin drop and then sniffles for like the entire back half. Well, not back half. Last 15, 20 minutes. Not 15. What am I saying? Like 2 or 3. But still, it has an impact.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah. This was like my first no-brainer that I had to put on my list. I feel like Endgame would have been the no-brainer, but we've already chosen that for our final stack. So of course you had to go with the predecessor. Yeah, I saw this with Sellers, friend of the show. We saw it. I remember I was actually I was registering for classes literally 10 minutes before the movie started. I was in the parking lot. I brought my computer. I set up a hotspot on my phone. I signed up for all my classes. And then I went into the theater and saw the movie. And yeah, it's just like, it's the epitome of a modern communal movie-going experience. Like, I've never had an experience like that before Infinity War. Maybe with the first Avengers, but still people weren't like clapping and cheering and recognizing all the characters because people were still pretty unfamiliar, with everything. But they were cheering at the moments. And I was a kid, so I don't really remember the exact details, But with Infinity War, it was crazy.
You were a kid.
I was 13. That's still a kid, all right?
Child.
I was a little baby, 13-year-old baby. If you're 13, you're still a fucking baby. Go change your diaper, you fucking baby. If you're 13, listen to this. Go fucking learn about numbers and colors, you fucking baby. Yeah, I said it. You're in fucking 7th grade. Who gives
3,
a
4,
shit?
6, 7, 8, 2, 5.
No, don't bring that into this show. I fucking hate you. Okay, I gotta break this down. So, Brandon, when we were driving back from the grocery store, our other roommate Ben was driving us back from the grocery store, and Brandon just started ranting about roller coasters just out of nowhere. First, he asked me if I wanted to go to Indiana, and I was like, "Why do I want to go to Indiana?" It's like, I don't, it's the mecca of roller coasters. And then he started talking about all this shit, and then somehow just that delved into him just listing numbers. He went 7, 2, 6, 3, 3, 7. We're like, what the fuck is this guy on? He like turned into a fucking computer. And now he's just gonna do that all the time because it's fucking hilarious. He's just gonna list numbers. Anyways, Jesus, tangent. Avengers Infinity War.
I'm a psycho.
Is fucking amazing. I think that movie still holds up, and sometimes it's better than Endgame. Sometimes it's a little inferior, but like it's an absolute ride of a movie and something that I will never forget. Seeing those final minutes with everyone in the theater and being absolutely shocked. And just, I remember walking out of the theater into the AMC Orange 30 Plaza, sitting on like a bench and just looking down and just be like, what the fuck just happened, you know? And that's just the magic of movies, that it can like give you some reaction like that. And I love that I shared that with so many other people. So it was great. Chris, what do you think about Infinity War?
So first of all, I want to say I love Infinity War. I think it's so much fun. Brandon, I remember that movie going experience was one of my favorites I've ever had. It was one of the first times in my entire life that I got to be at like an event movie going experience, because back home, like movie theater etiquette is very, very different in the sense of like it's complete silence no matter what. And if you so much as make a peep, you're out of the theater, like you're done. Unless like a little chuckle every now and then, fine, but like no wooing, no cheering, none of that. But this was a movie that felt like, you know, everyone was coming together to go see, and it was like everybody knew that this was like basically the return of the king for the MCU. And that's why like a lot of people were so excited. And obviously throughout that film, you have so many moments where obviously the audience is going to be losing their shit, laughing, crying. And obviously that ending is going to be incredibly powerful to a lot of people. I mean, I almost lost like my soul when Spider-Man almost went, because for those of you who don't know, Spider-Man's my favorite superhero. But yeah, so I mean, I definitely really do like this movie, and I 100% get why you guys chose it. Before we move on, Ethan, am I going after Brandon, or are you?
Yeah, no, you're next.
Okay. So Ethan, do you remember like 2 episodes ago you made a mistake?
Yes.
I made a mistake.
You made a mistake? Okay.
Permission to reinstate a triple stack right now.
You were gonna reinstate it? All right, boom, triple stack. Oh my god.
Sorry. For anyone who's confused, I was gonna choose Avengers Endgame, but it actually turns out we chose that for, what is it, Epic Movies?
No, we chose that for sequels better than the originals.
Sequels better than the originals. Yeah. I mean, needless to say, Infinity War deserves to be, you know, on a movie-going theater experience list. Obviously, I think like emotionally, there's a lot. Endgame presents a lot more because it has that big payoff at the end and everything like that. It kind of concludes things. But I think as a pure movie-going experience, Infinity War is just a really, really fun time. Personally, I'm a bigger fan of Endgame. I think all of us are. Am I correct to say that?
Yeah.
But Infinity War is nonetheless still a very, very fun movie and a great movie-going experience. So good pick. Good pick, everyone.
Good job, everybody. Chris, you showed up a little late, but you redeemed yourself. All right,
good
well,
job, guys.
Shit, there goes the first round. So, Brandon.
So do I go again?
Do you want to
Brandon,
go
you're going
with your
again,
second pick?
Yay. Yeah, Snowpiercer.
Oh, Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer.
Good choice.
Crazy. I didn't see this one in theaters.
I did. I remember seeing like the poster like a year ahead of time, and I didn't know what it was. I just knew like Chris Evans was in it, and that it was directed by this guy named Bong Joon-ho. I don't know who that was. I didn't know who that was at that point. I had like seen one Korean film, one Japanese film. Like I had no idea about Asian cinema whatsoever, and
you didn't even know Asia existed. You're like,
what?
You didn't even know Asia existed. You're like, I thought it just this. I thought it was just Arizona.
Okay.
You thought this was it.
So I hate Asia. I like the No. Stop.
Go on.
So on 4th of July, I'm not a big fan of 4th of July. I had a traumatic experience on 4th of July.
I'm not a big fan of Asians.
Stop it. It's not cool. It's not cool.
It's not cool.
Go on. Tell us about this movie.
Okay.
I'm
sorry. Tell your story.
I'm not a fan of the 4th of July holiday. I like the idea of representing it, but I had a traumatic experience on 4th of July when I was a kid. So I kind of need to like spend time somewhere else, not like going to like a fireworks thing or a big party or parade or whatever. So I choose to go to a movie, and I was like, Dad, this movie came out called Snowpiercer. I really want to check it out. It looks really cool. I don't know much about it. I've seen the trailer. Chris Stuckman liked it. Let's see this. Walk into the theater. And this is like the time of the day when like the theater is like dead usually. But I walk into Snowpiercer fully expecting it to be dead. It's completely packed. And it's a small theater. So it's like an 80-seater, but every seat is filled in that auditorium. And I walk in and the movie starts basically, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, holy cow. Like the crowd is digging this. And it's like the most unexpected of movies for people in my hometown to like.
Oh yeah.
And dig. Because it's an independent movie. It's not a Marvel movie. It's not even like a romantic comedy or something that people like get behind to watch. It's like a R-rated science fiction action movie that is like a co-production between the US and fucking Korea. So it's like, oh, this is like, why is this hitting so much? And I realize it's like, is Bong Joon-ho's way of directing, it's like the way he establishes like this setting is so unique and so captivating. Like the temperature is cold, and it's like in the theater it matches. I love it when a theater environment can do it. It happened to me during Mad Max, which I did not choose, but in Mad Max some guy was vaping during the movie and there was smoke in the theater, and it added to that desert picturesque environment. The same thing can be said for this movie, but the AC in the theater was turned very low. And in the movie, with it being a snow movie, I was getting chills from it, not just because of like the narrative, but because the theater was actually freaking cold. And not only that, people were like going ew when things were gross, like with the cockroach bars and stuff like that. They were like cheering and like going like shocked at like certain things that happened near the end of the film. And like I remember fully expecting everybody at the end to stand up and go, well, that sucked, because sometimes people say that in my hometown when they hate a movie, and they get up and they're like, that was terrible, and then they tell the theater. But everybody was like, that was so good. And I remember just being like in awe, and my dad and I just being like, wow, that was actually really freaking good. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Snowpiercer is a fantastic film. Yeah, I didn't get the chance to see this one in theaters, I don't think. I think I watched it on Netflix when it eventually came on, like in 2014 or something like that. But man, this would be a great film to watch with a crowd, because like it's sort of like it's video game-esque in its narrative, where there's certain levels and stuff and things getting crazier and crazier, you know? And like to have people just like be in awe of what's happening in a group, that would just be fun as fuck, you know? Yeah, that sounds awesome. Chris?
Yeah. I mean, Bong's
It's
films...
kind of sick and twisted, too.
I mean, like, yeah, Bong's films are always very fun to see in a movie theater. Like, even in, like, you know, obviously we have, like, for example, we all saw The Host in theaters together. And, like, Brandon, I know you're not as big of a fan of The Host as most people are, but you got to admit, like, Bong has a way of, like, kind of just, like, captivating you and just having fun with you and just, like, enjoying the movie as an experience. And also, like, going, like, for example, Brandon, when you took me to see Parasite, like, there's something about the way Bong directs his films that is just endlessly engrossing. I mean, really, like, especially that first half of Parasite, like, yeah, it's really entertaining and really fun, but realistically, like, literally speaking, it's a very simple story. Like, that first half especially. It's very straightforward, nothing too crazy. Like, yeah, the themes are amazing and everything, but it's like in its construction, it's quite simple. But the way he directs and orchestrates his sequences and stuff is so captivating. And Snowpiercer follows in that suit, as does many of his older films like Okja or even like Memories of Murder. And yeah, like I totally get why. I mean, Snowpiercer is I love a lot of Bong's films, and even though Snowpiercer might actually rank like maybe middle tier Bong for me, like I still really love it. And I mean, he's an incredibly accomplished filmmaker now, especially, and for good reason. And yeah, Snowpiercer is among some of the best like modern classics I think we have, and I think it's actually kind of underrated. No one really talks about this movie very much.
Yeah, I
I
feel
agree
like
with that.
I think Parasite it's now like overshadowing that as Parasite and
I mean, even before though.
yeah, that's true. I don't know. People need to talk about it more. Come on, go see it. It's amazing. All right, Chris.
All right.
I remember showing it to Taz, Chris,
Mm-hmm.
and he loved it.
Oh,
He
that's good.
was like, "Dude, what the heck? That was so awesome! It's shock, sick, twisted."
Well, I'm glad
Is
Taz
that
liked it.
word for word quote?
No, it's not. But I
Okay.
remember just sitting down and being like, "Dude, you got to see this." And he was like, totally. His girlfriend at the time was like, "He's never this quiet during a movie. Like quiet meaning not making jokes." And then he was like, "That was just amazing."
All right, Chris.
Yep.
Let's hope this movie's not on a final stack.
No,
What you
I know
got?
this one isn't. I double checked the other
Okay.
ones. So this
Yeah.
one is a movie that I saw in freshman year with Brandon. Ethan, I know I didn't think you could make it, but it was a movie that we saw in the Felino Theater with a bunch of other probably very drunk
Oh.
or high college students. It is
Oh,
probably
yeah.
my favorite comedy of the 2010s. I think it's a modern
good.
classic
Yeah.
of comedy. It is Blockers. Blockers. I really, really like this movie. I think it is probably the most one of the best comedies made in the 2010s. It has this kind of super bad energy. I think the cinematographer is the same DP for Superbad. And anyway, yeah, I really like this movie. I think it's a wonderful film that is about, finding yourself and accepting who you are and who you want to be. But also like for parents, there's also a really great story about like letting go of your kids and like that kind of empty nesters kind of narrative. But if we're talking specifically movie theater experience, the reason that this is so special to me is we were in a theater, Brandon, filled with nothing but really intoxicated college students, and
I mean, we
I
were
don't think you could
sober.
add. We were dead sober, but
And we thought it was gonna be shit.
okay, so the marketing for this movie is awful, by the way. We went into this movie with Joey and our good friend Delaney, and we went into it with the kind of mentality of like, hey, dumb, stupid comedy starring John Cena. We're gonna have fun and have a good time and whatever. And we sat there, and I remember like midway through the movie, I think I leaned over to Brandon and I was like, "Are you kind of digging this? Because I really like this." And you were like, "Yeah, this is a lot of fun," and it was great. Like I think it's a really wonderful movie, but on top of that, it's just so fucking funny. Like a lot of the jokes have that kind of like offbeat, super bad energy, but like the line delivery is fantastic. The narrative, like just, like Ike Barinholtz is like I've never been like a huge fan of his, but I think this is one of the best works he's done. I think, yeah, I don't know. I think it's just wonderful. Brandon, this was one of your most rewatched movies of 2018, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That and Smallfoot.
Good year. What a year.
Good year. Wonderful year. Let's just give it up for 28. No, I mean,
Infinity War came out in 2018.
Yeah, it's just a good year for movie-going experience if you think about it.
So.
I remember seeing this, like Chris and I saw this and we were just like we said, like we thought it was going to be terrible. Like the marketing, the trailers were all bad, and we thought, why did they use like the butt chugging joke in the trailer? Like, oh my gosh, how good can this be? But like, not only do you have like hilarious comedy, but you have like a really touching story that comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, you're at first like, oh, it's trying to be like your standard comedy story, but like they nail it. And props to like John Cena and Leslie Mann and Ike Barinholtz for really killing it, but the young actors too. Like I forgot how to pronounce her name, but Geraldine V and then Catherine Newton. They're great. They're fantastic. I forgot who the third girl is, but everyone in that top six is fantastic. And like you said, Chris, it's laugh out loud funny. Like I feel like this is like the first movie since This Is the End to make me laugh that much in theaters. Like that much, like consistently. Like jokes miles a minute that like actually hit rather than it like constantly missing. And yeah, they have their misses, but like they're few and farther between because like they know how to capture the real teen lifestyle, and I feel like that's really important.
Yeah, and like you said, Brandon, there's this wonderful story about like coming of age. Like there's the girls they want to. I mean, yeah, that's part of the story. Like they want to lose their virginity, but then like one of them like goes through with it and like is able to find that kind of like growth in that way. But another girl, like she ultimately decides not to because she's come to the realization that she is a lesbian. Also, yeah, very positive LGBT film, and I think it's really wonderful. Tori probably has a lot to say about this film because it's one of her favorite movies, and it's actually a movie that she tends to reference a lot whenever we're working together. And yeah,
Yeah.
Ethan, you have seen this movie, right?
I've seen it. So here's the predicament that I had in freshman year of college. All of these movies, they would either play on like Tuesday nights or Thursday nights, right? And I remember I was always free for the Tuesday night screenings. So I got to see Shape of Water. I remember that was one that played on Tuesday night. But like Thursday nights is when they played Coco and like this movie.
Oh.
Yeah, they played Coco.
Yeah.
Remember?
You missed
They played it
Coco?
early. And I missed Coco because of I had film aesthetics Thursdays at 7 to 9:45. I remember, and it was killing me.
And these are like early screenings, people. So just so you know.
Yeah, this is like it's special to be there.
There was like 2 or 3 weeks in advance.
And like when we watched Coco, the director was there. Leon Critch came because his daughter goes to Chapman or went to Chapman. Hi, Alice.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, so I missed that. So I remember all you guys were raving about and stuff like that, and then during the movie pass days, I remember just going to like I went to like a 1:00 screening on like on like a Wednesday or something.
Mistake.
For Blockers.
Mistake.
And it was like in one of the tiniest theaters at the Cinemark 25 with like 4 other people in the theater. And I thought it was funny. I was like, yeah, that's a good movie. That was funny. And I'm bummed that I missed out on this really good experience because I know that the Blocker screening is probably one of the most iconic ones of the group. You know, that's the one everyone always talks about when they talk about Dodge screenings. So, missed it.
We don't
Missed out
talk
on all
about
the fun.
First Man.
Yeah, we don't. That movie.
No.
What's that movie?
We saw.
Oh yeah, we really did.
Instead of First Man.
Thank
you. Saw Gump.
Hey, we learned a lot that day.
Come on.
I will say that we did learn a lot about cinema.
Yes.
That day.
That's right.
But yeah.
Okay. So my second pick is, I had to shout out going to a movie at my favorite movie theater of all time, and that is of course the Cinerama Dome in Hollywood. R.I.P. Cinerama Dome.
Please save it.
Somebody
save it.
Save that fucking theater. Please save it. So I'm gonna talk about. I've seen a couple movies there. I've seen Joker there. I've seen Portrait of a Lady on Fire there.
Oh.
I saw Glass there. The M. Night Shyamalan movie Glass. That was fun because there was a dude who's like, "Oh, come on, M. Night, what are you doing? What are you doing?" But I didn't choose that one. Of course, I'm choosing probably the most sophisticated movie-going experience I've ever had in my life, which was 2001, A Space Odyssey. It's in 70 millimeter in the Cinerama Dome. That blew me away. Now, I'm already a big fan of 2001 before seeing this movie. So when I went to LA, I think it was during the summer. I don't know. I think my parents came down. I think it was like in 2018. I don't remember. We got tickets and I don't know. It felt like going to like a play, you know, because like it's a fancy theater. ArcLight had rules where like you can't show up 5 minutes after the movie or you're not let in and stuff like that. And they have like the classic ushers and they'll come up and they'll present the film. They'll like say stuff about the film and then they'll tell you the rules, like the courtesy rules of the theater. And it was probably me and like 10 other people in that theater because we saw it like it was a matinee on a weekday. So like everyone who went and saw the theater, like the movie in 70 already probably saw it on the weekend, and that was probably a great time. But when we saw it, it was just us and a few other people, and I don't know, just like that's the one place where I just felt like being totally absorbed in like the grandeur of cinema. And like, because when you go see a movie at the Dome, like they have big curtains, and when we saw it in 70 millimeter, of course, like it rolled back, and then you could like hear the projector and go, like start the movie and everything. And some people say 2001's a really boring movie and are like a really long movie, but that movie goes by in an instant for me. Like I'm sucked in 100% of the time when I watch 2001. And I just remember walking out of that theater and just being like, wow, that was a once in a lifetime experience. And now sadly it might be. So yeah, 2001: A Space Odyssey. That's my second pick. What do you guys think? You ever seen it on a big screen?
No, I haven't. I think I've only ever seen this on like a medium-sized TV. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm very jealous, Ethan, that you got to go to the Cinerama Dome, because I've never been able to. And hopefully someone will be able to, I don't know, find a way to put something together to make it happen. But yeah, I mean, there's something special about, especially the Cinerama Dome. There's something iconically Hollywood about it. There's so much legacy that goes into that building, especially. That symbol, that theater is a symbol of Hollywood. Like, it is very much like it's like taking away the Hollywood sign or taking away the Chinese theater. Like, it's an important landmark in the history of cinema. And yeah, I mean, like, you guys know I love 2001: Space Odyssey. I think the only Kubrick film that comes even close to, for me at least, is either Clockwork Orange or Shining. Yeah, but like,
Yeah,
I adore it. I love it. I'm one thing that I am very particularly jealous of in your case is that you got to see it in 70 mil. Now, I just want to say, like,
yeah,
a lot of people, I think a lot of like more casual moviegoers, like, like they hear all this like IMAX, like Dolby theater, what's all this jazz about that? And like, honestly, like, especially like with Dolby, a lot of it's like, for example, with Dolby, it's like a lot of sound stuff, it's like seating stuff. It could be something as like oh, you just get nice seats, like, but with 70 millimeter, what that means is you are seeing a fully large, like pretty much the biggest like frame possible. There's literally like, I don't think there's a format that's larger than that in film. There is like photography that's bigger, but like, obviously, who's taking like 120 millimeter
That's me.
movies? Like, that would be so expensive.
Yeah. Like, how do you run that
like,
through a fucking projector?
Ethan, I'm sure, like, like, Ethan, I'm sure you can attest that like 70 millimeter has a quality to it. There's something texturally about it. There's a feeling to it that like, you frankly can't get from digital projection. Like, and like, I think Tarantino himself, who loves the Cinerama Dome Theater, himself said that every time he sees a movie that's digitally projected, he feels like he's getting gypped. And I think, like, I mean, I'm personally a fan of digital projection. I'm fine with it, but I can see, like, when you're exposed to the world of projected film, it might be hard to go back because there's something special about it. There's a feeling there. And yeah, I just want to say, like, yeah, I totally get why you would put this. It's 70 millimeter 2001. Like, of course you would. Brandon, you're a big 2001 fan, right?
I mean, I like
Nice.
it. I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan of it. I like it. I think I'd give it like a 7 or an 8 out of 10, or a 3.5 or a 4 out of 5. I think it's a good movie. Lots of good themes in it. Lots of good atmospheric things. Definitely transcendental, and for the time, really great. But like, I prefer like some of Kubrick's other movies. Like Clockwork Orange is like one of my personal favorites. But I can't imagine seeing this you with 10 people in a theater that big for 70 millimeter. It's a very personal experience.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of the explosive crowd reacting movies that you'd see like today with like a Marvel movie or something like that. Even like something as small as like Blockers or Snowpiercer, where people like will get involved with the movie, but they won't like blow up. It's not like super hype. This is like a very laid back and casual experience that I think is really important to have as well. Like, I think it's a powerful experience to be connected to the screen like that. on a especially for a classic movie that like you don't really see many classics screen today because they stopped with regular film projection in like 2011, and now it's like you have to go to like a special theater for it, like a Cinerama Dome or an Aero Theater or the Frida. And it's rare that they show like digital prints of stuff in theaters. Like they do it like maybe once a week at certain places, but even then it's like the blockbusters that you used to see from the 90s or 80s, not like really classic movies. So I think I think it's a great choice, especially for how big and grand it is. 70 mil and all.
Absolutely. Oh, such a great movie. All right, Brandon, let's go into the final round here with your last movie-going experience.
Already?
Yeah.
Okay, so mine is Gone Girl.
Oh.
I saw this in theaters. This was 2014, I think, right? I think. And I remember reading half of the book and then being like, well, I already got tickets for tonight, so I guess I'm going. And I dragged my parents. This was a completely packed theater. And I love movies that have twists and turns in them. So they're not predictable. They keep you on the edge of your seat. Yes, it's okay to have like predictable tropes here and there, but to keep the viewer guessing is really important. And especially with this movie, I remember walking in, only having read half the book, so I don't know what's going to happen. And about halfway through the movie, like right where I left off in my book, something massive happens in the middle of the movie that changes the complexity of the movie. It's like kind of what happens in the first 35 minutes of Knives Out. And it just blew me and the rest of the audience away. Because I remember gasps across the whole theater. I was in like the front row too, so it wasn't like, oh, like this is like a great spot. I'm in the middle of the theater. You know, it's a bad seating choice. But I remember sitting there, and that 2 hours and like 30-minute runtime flew by. And my jaw was down for like the entirety of the second half of the movie, not because of the twist that happens, just because of how sick and twisted it went and how great the writing was and how everyone in the theater kind of was on this ride, and you can kind of like feel it in the air. It's like palpable almost, like that there's like everybody's leaning forward in their seats, nobody's coughing, nobody's leaving the theater, nobody's on their phone. And that's like another piece of it is like often in movies you'll have that one guy in the front of it, like in It Chapter 2, taking a picture in the middle of a jump scare. We're like, okay, well that was supposed to be scary, but now we're just mad at this kid. But like, when you have a movie so engaging that you don't have that happen because people are just so intrigued by it, and you can tell, that's just the best, and I can't get enough of it.
Funny enough for you to bring up It Chapter 2. That's probably my worst theater going experience.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Movie.
It wasn't great. Yeah.
Give it a second chance because of it. I know the experience was bad, and I agree, but I enjoyed the movie. Give it a second chance, everyone.
No, yeah. Well, I think Chris and I are going to be the same camp because we watched it for the first time together at my house on Valentine's Day.
Good choice.
Yeah, watching a mystery movie in a theater is so good. Like, I feel like, let's see.
Probably the best way to watch them, to be honest.
Yeah, because everyone would be like, oh shit. I remember seeing Knives Out in theaters, like, and that got a reaction from a group of people from like the reveals that movie had. And yeah, I can totally picture like what the vibe of that theater would be with the crazy ending of Gone Girl and like all and just the meticulous plot that David Fincher puts forth upon the viewer in that experience. So yeah, it's a good pick. I can totally see you having that being a defining theatrical movie going experience, being such a big Fincher fan. So yeah, Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like Brendan, we always talk about like the time you showed this to us when we were all single on Valentine's Day was it 2 years ago now, something like that.
2.5, 3?
2.5, 3, something, I don't know, something like that. But yeah, I mean, like I was blown away by this movie. I have always been a Fincher fan, but for whatever reason, Gone Girl flew under my radar for a long time, and I was really blown away. Like it's a very, very well constructed movie and a very important movie. I think it discusses like I think especially contemporary like the contemporary politics of marriage and dating and relationships. Like it's an important conversation to have like with like this movie. And I think this movie, and weirdly enough, this movie and a very tonally different movie, 500 Days of Summer, are very important relationship based movies.
Yeah.
And I think they open up a conversation. I think both those movies you could watch with your significant other, and you could have a very productive conversation afterwards about how you feel about it, and like maybe that could speak to maybe like certain things that you guys want to discuss or whatever. But yeah, I think this is a fantastic movie, and I can totally see like all the twists and turns that happen throughout this movie in classic Fincher style. It's barely predictable, and like throughout the entire movie, even I was like, did he kill her? Is this all? Yeah, and then I was like, and then like yeah, and then you start to unravel it, and it's a wonderful like it's a murder mystery. It's a wonderfully done murder mystery that is also elevated by so much more than that. And I think this is one of the best movies of the 2010s.
Underrated.
Yeah, underrated. I think people need to talk about this movie more, especially
It
in
wasn't
the world
nominated
of
for
Fincher.
Best Picture at all, and anything other than I think Rosamund Pike.
I'm surprised it didn't get a
So-
writing.
Yeah, same. That was the big what, you know. But do you guys remember our first reactions right after the movie when we watched it together?
Fuck. Shit.
Bitch.
Bitch.
I'm Shaq That was it was like exasperated because like they didn't realize that they were teeing this up for me.
Yeah.
And then I said at the end, and it just it was great.
Yeah.
It was
If
great.
anyone's confused by what just happened right there, this movie ends in a very somber note. So right after Ethan, Ethan and I both sat back on the couch and we were both like, I said, fuck. And then Ethan's like, wow, shit. And Brandon looked like to both of us like, bitch, I'm shit.
It's a song. It's a song, people.
Yeah, check it out. Mobamba by Sheck West.
I'll go home.
Hey, Mobamba! Yay!
Mobamba!
Yeah, let's go.
Sicko mode. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Yes. Gone Girl. Good pick. All right, Chris, you want to take us in your last pick?
Yeah. So my final pick is actually a movie that we saw together recently. I wanted to put this on because it put me into a weird existential crisis. I'm putting up Godzilla v Kong.
Yes. Holy shit. Okay,
was
I'm
like
so
2 days
glad we
ago.
get to talk about this. I'm so glad we get to talk about
Guys,
this.
this was
Holy
like
shit.
2 days ago. I'm not even
No, but he
joking.
might be right. This might be one of the greatest movie-going experiences of all time. Okay,
let me
Chris.
explain why this movie was so special. So first of all, Godzilla and Kong have been like two different for me at least, two very distinct franchises. I honestly didn't know that they had fought before until recently. And like it felt like a big event movie for me because it was like, my God, like this big guy and this big guy from these two different movies that I never knew like were connected somehow. Like what the fuck? And then and I think yes, this movie's absolutely ridiculous. It's the most absurdist thing you'll ever see. Like what the fuck is like this entire movie? The entire time you're looking at it and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Why are the conspiracy theorists right? Like what is going on? One thing I do want to say about this movie that I really love, and I think the filmmakers did a really good job of owning, is that I would at least like to think that they were fully aware that they were making a movie about a fucking lizard and a monkey fighting.
Yeah.
And I think like, and yes, it's stupid. Yes, it's very stupid. But I think because they knew that they knew that this is a stupid idea, so let's have stupid fun with it. And they went the full mile. Like it felt like the weight of the universe was on this movie. There's like this whole thing with like them like going to like Hollow Earth or some shit, and then like Mecha Godzilla made by this company that I remember like throughout the entire movie I kept thinking like, could you imagine living in a world that was this prepared?
Yeah.
Like, do you realize if Kong and Godzilla, if this actually happened, we are beyond screwed.
We're so fucked.
Like we have nothing to deal with.
We can't even handle a pandemic. You think we can handle a fucking giant monster destroying the city?
Yeah.
Jeez.
And like I remember like thinking about this right after. Like I look back on the 2014 Godzilla film with a lot of fondness because it was a movie that really made me start taking Godzilla very seriously. I read that as a very existential movie about like, just feeling tiny and feeling like you're like, look at these gargantuan titans, like dealing with things that are way beyond me. It's like almost like cosmic horror in that weird kind of way.
Yeah.
But with this movie, it's not that. It's not that at all. It's a monkey fighting a lizard. But somehow, I went into an existential crisis while watching this movie, and the entire movie. I was like, we're fucked. This is over. We're done. And then like every time Godzilla and Kong would fight, I'd be like, go, 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 go. Like I'd be like chanting like the world depended on it. And could you imagine we went to this movie like long after it had been released and in the middle of a pandemic. Could you imagine going to this movie on premiere night at like the Universal City Walk with a packed theater? Like what an experience that would have been to watch people chanting Godzilla, Godzilla. Like I don't know, but anyway, I thought it was a lot of fun. I don't think it's an amazing movie, but I think it's a really fun movie, and that's all I could ask from it. Ethan, you're a big fan. Go on.
Okay, so I had already seen this film in theaters before seeing it with you, and I saw this film on HBO Max as well before seeing it. So this is my third time going in, but the one difference is I personally was zooted out of my mind, if one will say.
Yeah.
Zoink.
I was zoinked. Oh man, was I not the opposite of sober.
I was Ethan's DD.
Yep, you were the DD, and oh man, what can I say? I mean, I felt like Godzilla and Kong were reaching out of the screen and pinning me to my seat and stomping on my face, and that's kind of fucking amazing. Not in like a kinky way, but like in like, how can a movie do this to me way?
I want you to step on me, Zilla.
I want you to step. No, but it was
hit me
just
with
like,
that atomic breath, bro.
This movie is fucking relentless, and I was just like, and then of course I too was thinking about how twisted it is that our main protagonists are people who don't drink tap water and wash themselves with bleach. And they're the ones who are right about everything in the movie.
They're conspiracy theorists.
They're conspiracy theorists. Why would you make conspiracy theorists the protagonists of a movie? And I'm like, that's so stupid that it's kind of
especially in our
amazing.
climate today.
Especially in our climate today, and after all the QAnon stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, but you already got a movie about giant monkey and giant lizard and hollow earth. And I think you're right, Chris. Like, the filmmakers had on their hands like, this is fucking stupid. Let's get stupider. Why not? People, this is the thing to welcome people back into theaters. Let's just get fucking dumb. Let's turn off our brains. I feel like people have been in their brains for over a year. The voices in their head in quarantine. They've been in their brains for too long. It's time to turn that shit off and watch a giant monkey fight a giant lizard. And there were so many shots in this movie where it feels like you're in a theme park ride. It feels like you're on Star Tours, flying. There's shots where you're flying through Kong's mouth, going down his back, then riding along Godzilla's like atomic breath, and then going on his mouth and riding down his face and stuff like that. And I'm like, this is genius. I didn't have to pay $75 to go to a fucking theme park with children and overpriced food. Well, I mean, there still was children and overpriced food, but I didn't have to pay that much money for it. Because there was...
Good job.
Wait a minute. Because there was a kid in the front row who kept talking, but it didn't matter because I was high out of my mind. And I did order $16 worth of chicken strips and pretzel bites. But anyways... that doesn't matter. I didn't pay as much as if I went to a Universal or a Disneyland.
Excuses.
That's the point. That's what matters most. And it was amazing. It's like I went to a theme park for the first time in over a year, and I really missed that. And I don't know. It's just like people debate what is and what isn't cinema. People have to use, it's just a theme park ride, and what's wrong with that? People used to show point of views of roller coasters in movie theaters back in like the 50s and stuff like that. That's what they used to show in like they used to show that in the Cinerama Dome where I watched 2001. So like, who fucking cares if it's a theme park ride or not? It's fun as fuck. And come on.
This is Cinerama Dome.
Yeah. Imagine seeing. Do you think they shot this in 70 millimeter? Because I want to see that print.
No.
Brandon, what do you think about when we saw Godzilla versus Kong? What was that? It was on. I think it was on Sunday. I don't know.
I mean,
Saturday. I don't know.
Yeah, it was recently. I don't think the film is super good. But I can definitely attest to the experience we had in theaters. It seemed like everybody was sort of into it. I wasn't in the same state of mind as you, Ethan. But like I definitely could see how it would be a violent experience, but that doesn't mean the movie isn't fun. Like whenever you have a giant monster movie or something like that, like you're always gonna have fun. I didn't really have fun with Godzilla King of the Monsters, but every other Godzilla movie I've seen, I've at least had fun in. Even King Kong, I had fun in. I don't like that movie that much either, but
You mean
I've
Kong
had
Skull
fun in
Island?
these. Yeah, that one. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like they're pretty fun experiences to be had. That's all you can really say. I don't really, because I didn't really have the same like perspective of viewing it like a documentary. And if
Oh,
I did,
yeah, I
maybe
forgot
Oh
to
yeah,
tell you.
right.
I read
yeah.
your- I was watching this film as if it was a non-fiction film, as if the filmmaker was retelling these events to us and doing it in this perspective. You know, imagine if they made like a 9/11 movie in this tone. You know, that's how fucked up it would have been. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
No, they have no chill.
I was just
What a
thinking about this.
sequel.
Like this movie for me was also very, very fun and exciting, and also just like you, Ethan, very visceral of an experience because it like there was something about when I was watching the movie where I couldn't bring myself to like not suspend my disbelief. Is that the
Yeah.
right? Yeah, like I was
Yeah,
for
yeah.
whatever reason I completely bought into everything. Like I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, dude, Zilla and Kong fighting in my hometown. Like, yeah, absolutely, this is happening.
I
And,
remember
like,
that. I was there.
Yeah, and then oh yeah, also rest in peace,
Coolest
Cheryl.
scene. Rip
Rest
Cheryl.
in
Rip-
peace, Cheryl.
Cheryl, you're done.
You're done. Goodbye.
But yeah, anyway, yes, I'm. It was a very like just visceral of a movie to experience because it was just so. It was just so like infiltrating. It was just like it was getting like shit shoved in your face, and you're just like, oh, okay, I'll take it. And it's just like you're just going for like 2 hours. It's fun. It is fun. View it through whatever lens you want. Dumb movie, existentialist horror, whatever you want. Have fun.
Good pick.
Yeah.
Oh my
Good
God.
pick. Solid movie.
Amazing
No.
pick. Great movie. All right. Are you ready for my last pick?
Let's hear it.
I'm pulling a Chris wild card for this one.
Oh no.
If it's on Letterboxd, I can use it. This is a movie that you literally can't watch outside of a theater. Well, you could, but it would just probably be really poor quality. My movie is an attraction at Walt Disney World. It is Muppet Vision 3D.
All right.
Oh,
Come
boy.
on.
All right. I've crossed lines.
Should have
You've
done-
crossed the next line.
No,
you're going to
here's the
literal
thing.
theme park.
I believe that this is the correct. This is correct because I have logged Mickey's Full Heart Magic,
Yeah.
and that is basically Muppet Vision 3D.
Oh yeah. Wait, that's on.
Yeah,
That's
so
on
if you're in
Letterboxd?
that attraction. Log.
Yeah. Log it.
It's a
I
15
I mean,
minute
all
experience.
of the attractions where it's like you're sitting down in a theater to watch something, that they're all on Letterboxd. So yeah,
Yeah.
if you don't know what
It's
Muppet
tough
Vision
to be
3D,
a bug. The Honey I Shrunk the Kids one.
right. So if you don't know what Muppet Vision 3D is, you basically go into the Muppet Theater and you watch it's sort of this glorified 3D tech demo. It was made in the 90s, starring the Muppets, and they have to fight this 3D 3D character. I forgot his name. What is his name? Who cares? He's kind of annoying, but what's so great about this film is this was the last Muppet project that Jim Henson worked on, so it's kind of weird to see his Kermit and his sort of ideas sort of in this 90s lens, because this was his only 90s Muppets project, if I am to be correct. Like, I think the first 90s Muppet project was Christmas Carol, and that was Steve Whitmire as Kermit, and Brian Henson directed that one. But Jim Henson did this one as last film right when the Muppets were purchased by Disney, and that sort of just makes it more special for me just whenever I see it, because I'm like, this is the last thing that Jim ever worked on, and the only way I can do it is go to this theater in Orlando, so it makes the experience more special where you can only literally view this movie in a theater, so that's why I had to pick it. It's a fun movie.
Does that mean if people are doing a triple feature that they have to
better buy your tickets, get your plane tickets, book your rooms, because if you want to see this,
so what you're saying is
you're going to Disney World.
So what you're saying is, Ethan, you're saying is, you said I didn't have to buy overpriced ticket and overpriced food, and now you're telling our people if we pick this in our final stack
to watch the 17-minute film.
That's like the most expensive. That's the most expensive ticket there is.
We should make a list of movies that are wild card selections, like when I chose a 2015 movie for a 1980s stack.
Yeah. Whenever you chose Blue Planet 2,
Blue Planet 2, Sally Gardner,
and now Muppet Vision 3D. I know, it's kind of. I was realizing that as I was talking about Godzilla vs. Kong, where I was like, wait, I'm literally choosing a Disney World attraction, like one of the most expensive movies to go watch. But hey, if you're there and you spent the money, it just makes the experience all the more special to go watch Jim Henson's last project. And yeah, it's sort of like a piece of history in that sense. So whenever I see it it's always packed with a big crowd because they got rid of the one in Disneyland. So whenever people kind of go out of their way to see this one, since it's the last Muppet ride in the Disney area. And they also they revamped the whole Muppet Plaza and stuff like that. And they have a Rizzo's Pizza, and it's just nice to see that this is sort of ode to the Muppets in Disney World. But that's besides the point. The film is fun. It's got great 3D gags. I kind of got sick and tired of 3D. But this one, it plays into it, and it knows that 3D is sort of a gimmick. And they sort of, they break the fourth wall with it, literally. They have cannons shoot out of the screen and break walls in the theater. It's great. I love it. Have any of you guys seen Muppet Vision 3D?
Not that I know of. I've been to Disney World once in my life, but I was 9. I honestly don't even remember it at all, other than at one point in my trip to Disney World, I got lost and stood still for 20 minutes until my mom walked back on her route to find me. I just because when I was growing up, my parents always said if you ever get lost, stay perfectly still. I will find you.
That's the definition of allowing them to retrace their steps to find their child.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. I have not seen it. I know of it. I've seen the Mickey's PhilharMagic, which is just they do the same thing at the end, the shooting of something at the audience,
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the 3D gimmick, and to make it 4D technically. And I know of it. When did they get rid of it in Disneyland?
I think I remember they replaced it with a Frozen ride. So I'm thinking 2013, 2012, 2013.
Okay.
Because they replaced it with an Olaf's
Something
Frozen Adventure.
Well, I haven't.
Pissed me off.
Okay. Well, I haven't. I might. Well, I don't know. I went to Disneyland in 2002, so I might have seen it in theaters. I know I've seen it's tough to be a bug, but that I would have to go to Disney World to really know.
Yeah.
To really know.
Well,
but yeah, it sounds fun.
It's a great time.
Really original choice.
Thank you. I wanted to have a little fun for our 50th episode. Put some wild cards down. Chris is just shrouded in darkness right now. I can only see his roommate Luke being lit by his. I can just see a tiny man on his computer and Chris's screen. Just this lone man not paying attention to us at all.
Wipeout?
He's watching his own episode of Wipeout.
Maybe.
All right. Yep. So there are all of our picks. Let's run it down before we get to hashing out this final stack. So, Brandon, you want to kick us off with your movie-going experience stack?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
I saw Infinity War, Snowpiercer, and Gone Girl.
Chris, what were your picks?
I chose Avengers Infinity War, Blockers, and Godzilla versus Kong.
And my picks were another triple stack: Avengers Infinity War, 2001 A Space Odyssey, and Muppet Vision 3D. All right, so Infinity War.
I have an idea.
Yeah?
Okay, so Infinity War obviously gets on,
Yeah.
because it's a triple stack. I think we do Blockers and Muppet Vision as the other two, because they provide different experiences. With Infinity War, you've got this explosive action adventure with a sad ending. With Muppet Vision, you've got something original and unique, and with Blockers, you've got an explosive comedy. And you want our people to laugh, don't you?
I disagree. I sort of canceled out my own argument with the Godzilla vs. Kong, so I think we replaced that with Muppet Vision. And I think Infinity War and Blockers are too similar in terms of like what we're talking about here. So I'd love to put like a Gone Girl or a 2001 where it's sort of a more that this is the experience of something more personalized to you, and like I don't know, you know.
I think like I do see what you mean, Ethan, in the sense of like the whole Infinity War and Blockers being kind of similar in the sense of that they are very similar experiences in the sense of like it's very communal, very fun, very entertaining and enjoyable. But then yeah, like with Godzilla v Kong, it is that as well, but it is also like the gargantuance of those fucking titans is like overwhelming on a big screen as well. But we also have 2001: A Space Odyssey. We could also look into that. There's Gone Girl as well, like you said, because like the murder mystery is also really engrossing when you're in a movie theater.
Yeah.
Gone Girl is understated. I'll give it that. So Snowpiercer. Not to toot my own horn.
What about? All right, how about? Ooh. Well, how about this?
Yeah.
How about we do Infinity War, and then we have to pick two of the following three.
Okay.
Gone Girl. So Gone Girl, Godzilla v Kong, and fuck, Ethan, one of your movies, not Muppet Vision.
2001.
What?
2001.
I want Muppet Vision.
You want no? We don't want to send people to Disney World.
I do, and here's the reason why. We will never use Muppet Vision again for a stack. There is no fucking way.
What if we did a ride stack? Episode?
What? No,
That's true.
It's just gonna be a triple stack. It's a triple stack.
I think we should pick Godzilla versus Kong because I think I've said my piece on it. And I think that viewing experience with you and Chris was sort of my penultimate experience with Godzilla versus Kong, and I truly will never forget watching that movie, ever. So I think that has to be on it. If you want to do Muppet Vision 2, fine by me, but I think they both fit into the theme park ride category. 2001 would be great. I mean, we don't have like a grand like theatrical experience like that on our list, you know? So I don't know.
Here's what I'm thinking. You take over Disney World. You go to the Muppet Vision Theater, and then you force them to show them the other two movies on the Muppet
in the Muppet Vision Theater. All right, play the other movies. You got Godzilla vs. Kong here
at Disneyland.
I know you got Infinity War. I know you own that shit. All right, now play Godzilla. I will kill a Muppet.
Or
I will kill
either that or people are like, all right, I gotta watch these two movies first and then go to Disney World, or I go to Disney World just to watch Muppet Vision, and then I go home and watch the other two.
No, it's too confusing. I just wanted to shout that out. I don't want to put Muppet Vision on this. I would love 2001 and Godzilla vs. Kong, but then I feel like that's all too science fiction. So I think like a Gone Girl would be great.
Yeah, because then you've got Infinity War.
Yeah. So why not?
Okay.
Let's go Gone Girl Infinity War, Godzilla versus Kong. What say ye?
In that order?
In that order specifically, or
No, not in that order. We can figure out a different order. But what about those 3 films?
I'm on board for
That's
that.
fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I have a proposal for the order.
Yes.
Okay.
Go for it.
I think we should start with Infinity War because it's a big fun introduction, big jump into
Okay.
the movies, and then from there you go into Gone Girl because the ending of Infinity War is very somber, might actually complement it a lot.
Yeah.
And then the final thing is like Godzilla v Kong, these giant titans, the big finale, the return of the kings,
Which
plural.
Kings.
also is the most optimistic film, even though it is the most twisted film. Even more
Very-
twisted
very
than
sick
Gone
and
Girl. Even more
Yeah.
twisted than Gone Girl, if you think about it. Only
It
if
is.
you think about it, though.
Yeah, in the grand scheme, that movie is fucking twisted.
If only Rosamund Pike was manipulating Godzilla and Kong to fight each other with their sinking twisted puzzles
That'd
and
be kinda cool.
games. That'd be kind of cool if you think about it. All right, yeah, I love that list. I love that rundown. All right, so let's do it. Let's
Okay.
run down Stack's official 2021, our grand 50th episode, our list of the best movie-going experiences, starting with, of course, Joe and Anthony Russo's Avengers Infinity War, the movie that is going to probably define along with Endgame, it's going to define an era of blockbuster cinema. I think the way it changed movie going culture, in at least in the United States. I know a lot of people outside the US think we're fucking crazy for actually cheering and applauding and being and actively engaging with the movie, but hey, that's just the American way, baby. Starts firing Desert Eagle into the ceiling. It's got good thrills, it's got amazing reveals, it's got mic drop moments, and it's got an ending that floored the world. Avengers Infinity War. Brandon, what's our second pick?
Our second pick is Gone Girl, a very trippy movie that contains plot twists and shocking revelations that will leave you gasping for air and leave you even more engaged in the film, even more so halfway through than you were at the beginning.
And our final pick is the battle of the greatest titans to ever exist on our planet. It is Godzilla versus Kong, an incredible movie, one way or the other, and also just probably one of the most fun experiences monkey fight lizard. Get with it.
That's all there is to say.
That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know.
Guys, there's been a mistake.
What?
Joker
Moonlight.
has been selected for the
Joker
final
has
stack.
been selected.
For the
Listen,
final stack.
That would have been a good one because that movie was fucking funny. Everyone in the theater was laughing for that one. That was a good movie going experience, even though you didn't enjoy it, Brandon. I thought we all had a good time with that one. We saw it in a packed theater. Anyways, all right, that'll do it for this episode of Stacked, our 50th episode. Thank you all for listening, and thanks for sticking with us for 50 episodes. I know we had a rise and fall there, and now we're still gonna slowly come back, but I think maybe these shorter run times, I think we're really nailing the formula here and getting to quick and succinct episodes that will get your attention. And so if you like this, please share around with your friends, and I can't wait for the next 50 episodes of Stacked for you to listen. So thanks for listening, everyone. Bye.
Butt story.
Bye. We're still waiting for the butt story.
Butt story.
Here, I'll show you a butt story.